Hey guys, before we get started today, I just want to say congratulations to Moses Ramirez for winning the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the Flash giveaway. Check out later on tonight on Spawncast because we'll be giving away another Mario Kart 8 Deluxe from Ukester.com. We'll be giving away another one live on Spawncast. That'll only be like a 2-hour thing, so make sure you're there live so you can be entered and try to win it by the end of the show because we're going to be starting the raffle right there at the beginning, and then by the end of the show, before we go off air, we will announce the winner. It'll be very quick. You know, some of the most interesting news in gaming has to do, for me anyway, with retro games. I like when either new Easter eggs are found in old games or when new hardware or prototypes that we figured didn't exist just randomly pop up. And in this case, a game that, well, we had a feeling existed because we heard about it in places like Nintendo Power, and some people have even said that they have the prototype but have not shown it off or really put a ROM out online. Usually you can dump the entire image from the cartridge and put it out online. In this case, though, I'm talking about SimCity on the original Nintendo. Now, if you don't know, SimCity was originally planned for Nintendo's 8-bit system. However, despite them publishing in Nintendo Power in 1990 that it was happening, a few years later they ended up just canceling it, and they cited bad timing, which I assume is the reason it eventually was published on the Super Nintendo, because it was just either taking too long for it to work on the 8-bit system, and they just ended up moving it over to the system that was coming out, or at least had come out at the time, the Super Nintendo. And you know what? It's interesting to see this, but apparently, randomly, the prototype walks into a store in Seattle. So over on Nintendo Age, really a longtime member there, Big Daddy Ramirez, posted that, hey, look what walked into our shop. And this is really a chain of stores over in Seattle, Washington, called Back in Time. According to them, randomly, these just walk in. Apparently they came out of the customer's closet, and a couple of prototypes walk in, and you see what you're seeing here, and that's them playing SimCity on the NES. What an interesting find, just out of nowhere. Now, I worked in, obviously, a few stores, and yeah, random stuff would walk in. I never saw a prototype walk in, but you see some pretty rare stuff from different gaming libraries. Like I had a Hagane walk in one day for the Super Nintendo, for example. So you see all kinds of crazy stuff. I've never seen something this crazy, though. Having an entire prototype game that people thought didn't really exist. They figured people were just making it up. Yeah, there you go. They were at least within, I would say, development of it coming out. They were very close to it being done from what we can see here because, well, it's working. Now, according to them, they're going to take both copies to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. So I guess if you're in the area and you're planning on going, maybe it's worth going just to try the games out. They're going to have one just be fully playable. I think with the other one kind of behind, I guess, glass or something. I don't know. I would lock that up, though, because that's a rare piece, and I've been to those conventions before, and it is kind of worrying when people start reaching out to grab onto some of these rare games. So I assume it'll be kind of behind a locked cabinet, but cool to see. It'd be really neat to try it out, and what I really hope is that they dump this ROM so we can, we'll check it out for ourselves in an emulator and see, well, how close they were to finishing it, and if it's not done, there are some pretty talented programmers online that deal with this kind of thing and could probably finish it and have a completely working ROM. If there are parts or bugs in it, they would probably get those sorted out and honestly release an entirely good ROM that would work. And I'm sure people will make reproductions and everything, but to have this unearthed, dumped, and then made to be a fully working game would be really cool to see. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about really these rare finds that are just popping up. Seems like Seattle was the place to be, right? I mean, we see the Americanized N64 DD just pop up randomly over there, and of course a lot of prototype games pop up a lot there as well. Just to, I mean, I'm curious what their look on their faces were when they walked in. That came in, they popped in the NES and saw SimCity pop up on the TV when they have their top loader NES running. That must have been a shock. But I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on this find, and I guess retro gaming finds in general like this. It's one of the coolest things I see in the news. I love seeing these pieces of history just pop up. And let me know if you're going to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and I'll be curious to see how that plays and see if people get footage of it in person. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.